From KGW, this is The Good Stuff.
Yeah, this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime find for sure.
Tonight on The Good Stuff, it's the sight so rare it has experts from around the world amazed. Thanks for joining us. I'm Deidre Johnson. While it's not usually a big deal to spot birds along the Oregon coast, a photographer captured something nobody has ever seen in North America. Joe Ranieri shows us the rare bird that's typically found on the other side of the ocean.
If there's such thing as beginner's luck, it's Michael Sanchez and his early photography career.
So I'm a very, very beginning photographer. I got my first camera at the beginning of April. I took a few pictures.
His keen eye, or luck, if you want to call it that.
You got your camera in April. 3 weeks later, you find this very rare bird that's more common in Europe or Asia.
That's right. Yeah, it's I can't believe it.
Captured this bird, a blue rock thrush that he snapped pictures of in late April at Hug Point Falls near Cannon Beach.
To me, it just looked like a little bird with black feathers. And then when I got home and started processing the pictures, I saw what beautiful colors it was.
These photos of the blue rock thrush are believed to be the first time it's been spotted in North America ever. Once he posted his photos online, birders couldn't believe what they saw.
What makes this so exciting is that it's a bird. Blue rock thrush breeds across Europe into Asia, and it doesn't breed very far north. So that's why we haven't ever seen them in Alaska.
The bird breeds in Taiwan and winters in the Philippines, according to Brody Cass Talbot, who's the senior educator at Bird Alliance of Oregon.
This is probably the rarest bird that has ever been found in Oregon. A first country record is definitely very exciting.
So how did it get here? Talbot has some theories.
This bird started migrating south from southeastern Russia and either just had bad navigation and just went the wrong way, or got into a storm and got blown out to sea.
Birds often fight against the wind out in the open sea. If that happens, Brody says some birds often give up the fight and just start going with the wind.
A lot of birds, as you can imagine, might just get lost at sea that way. Some of them might be lucky enough to find a passing ship or boat and land on it.
The bird landing on a boat, he says, is the most likely scenario.
Sometimes with these things, when one shows up, we start to see more. And so you never know with birds. A rare bird who somehow got way off course and landed right in our backyard is something Sanchez will not soon forget.
Yeah, this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime find for sure.
Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
Well, a first-of-its-kind event recently happened at Pacific University. The school's Indigenous Student Alliance gathered people of different cultures and heritages to hold their first reconciliation powwow. The event featured music and dances by local tribes, plus local vendors and food.
We didn't know when that would happen or if it ever would. But this year, the stars have just been aligning, and now that we have our footing, we've been able to crack down and get it all done and really just become closer and create our community here on campus.
The group says they have more projects in the future and they plan to invite the community to attend. Well, we know many of you were super busy this weekend, so let's take a look at some of your weekend picks. We asked you on Facebook to share what you were up to. Mary posted this photo from their very fancy Kentucky Derby party at the Elks Lodge. She says she had so much fun, and look at that, we love the hats, of course. Tony's daughter, Laura, and their dog, Findy, were out competing this weekend. They won the dog show in Elma, Washington. Awesome! Congrats to them. And Ashley got some dog quality time as well. She was at the Walk and Run for the Humane Society for Southwest Washington and stopped by the doggy kissing booth. Worth every penny, I'm sure. And Anna shared this photo of her great niece, Isabella, who she's very proud of. She says she caught a fish bigger than her papa's catch. And Katie and her husband were busy this weekend building a new fence for their chicken and duck coop. So thanks so much for sharing your photos. You can add yours by texting 503-226-5088 or email us at thegoodstuff@kgw.com. Students at Grant High School are giving new life to recycled items, and it's all part of a partnership with the Portland Fashion Institute. Daisy Caballero shows us how they put their cool creations on display to sell.
Yo, yo. I think it provides like a really unique experience for high schoolers.
On Thursday, students at Grant High School put their upcycled creations on display.
I just love working with these students, and we've been working on this for 6 weeks. Think about that. They pulled this off in 6 weeks.
Sharon Blair is the director of Portland Fashion Institute and helped guide these students with in-school pop-up shops featuring their sustainable fashion for their peers to buy.
Our group, we made bags out of old jeans. A lot of other people are making shirts out of other shirts.
All 14 groups with about 5 to 7 students each learned how to sew, repair, and pick old garments to create new ones in their screen printing class, allowing students to have the freedom to put their imagination to the test, including Ani and Joaquin.
Yeah, I think it's really important to let students have an outlet like this. I did not expect how many people would be in there and what kids at our school could make.
I think there was a lot more people than I thought there would be.
Frances Richardson is a senior at Grant and decided to use her 3 years of experience from class to join the movement in making these pouches.
We cut up a t-shirt and reused and made it into yarn and did a crochet kind of thing.
And the pop-up event was an absolute hit with many groups selling out.
Everybody has put so much time and effort into their creations. I think that it's really amazing, and I think that it is definitely everything that I thought it would be and more.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Those students are so creative. Love it. Well, it's been a long time coming for the Portland Winterhawks. For the first time in 10 years, they're going to the Western Hockey League Championships. They knocked off Prince George in the Western Conference Finals. Josh Davies delivered the winning goal in double overtime. The final score 2-1. Last night's game was the longest one so far in this year's WHL playoffs. So many congrats to them. Well, from Pioneer Courthouse Square to the White Stag sign, you can thank Bill Nato for many parts of Portland that are iconic today. We take a look at his legacy when we come back. But first, let's take a live look outside from our Cannon Beach Skycam. May is Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and today we highlight Bill Natta, a Japanese American who helped transform downtown Portland into the city many people know and love. Ashley Grams shares his story.
Forget those things done.
He was a successful businessman, a civic leader.
He was absolutely a visionary.
And he dreamed of a better Portland.
He made it feel like everything was possible. And so then you felt motivated in a way you didn't before.
Bill Natta invested in so many of the landmarks Portland is known for: the Galleria, Pioneer Square, the iconic White Stag sign, and Montgomery Park. In 1996, Front Street was renamed in his honor. The street signs now read Natta Parkway.
This is one of my favorite pictures in the whole world.
He was also a grandfather
of my grandparents on their wedding day. He genuinely was seeking joy.
His granddaughter, Erica Natta Campbell, describes him as a man who was always laughing. But behind the smile was a deep hurt from the past.
Pearl Harbor was attacked.
In 1942, all Japanese Americans were removed from the West Coast. Bill was a teenager at the time, and his family was forced out of Portland.
It devastated him for the rest of his life. It is actually the fuel of his desire to remake the city and make it better.
Erica says her grandfather felt the need to prove that the U.S. government never should have thrown his family out. After high school, he enlisted in the Army and served for 2 years.
He wanted to prove that he was an American. He was a great Portlander, and he deserved to be here.
For decades, he did that, going above and beyond in the 1970s and 80s, transforming downtown Portland into a place people wanted to live and work. However iconic, these moments from the past are a walk down memory lane for Erica.
His desk, I mean, you can see it in the photo. It really was this messy.
These photos and excerpts from Bill's life are on display at the Japanese American Museum of Oregon in Portland's Old Town.
Bill's catchphrase was, "This is a great day and a great city, and we have a great future."
The entire exhibit is inspired by Erica's book, a biography of Bill's life. Ashley Grams, KGW News.
Such a great story. And if you want to check out the entire Breaking Barriers series, check out our KGW YouTube page. Next on The Good Stuff, a community rallies to support a Vancouver educator who's given so much to students over the years. But first, we want to wish a very happy birthday to Maple, one of the resident beavers at the Oregon Zoo. Maple just turned 8 years old, and she celebrated with a favorite snack of hers, a carrot. Maple has been at the Oregon Zoo since 2020. Welcome back to The Good Stuff. Many times what helps people through the tough times in life is a love from family, friends, and the community. That's what this next story shows as people gathered this weekend to support a longtime Vancouver educator who ended up in the ICU. Art Edwards has more.
A packed house at the Orchard Hills Golf and Country Club in Washougal. People from the community gathered to show support for Clark County resident Scott Monroe.
We just want to remind Scott that we haven't forgotten and we're here to support and do whatever we can for both him, Katrina, and their daughter.
Monroe is the director of elementary education for the Evergreen School District. He went in for shoulder surgery in the Vancouver area in September. He ended up in the ICU for a month with brain damage. Oxygen levels dropped for 4 minutes unchecked.
Good job, Scott.
Monroe is relearning basic things in a rehabilitation center in Omaha, Nebraska. We talked with him in April about his recovery.
Well, it's going pretty well considering where I started after the injury, which, I was barely conscious for about 2 months.
Insurance has stopped paying for the level of care he needs, so the community is stepping up.
My whole family is so grateful just for all of the support that we've gotten from everyone in our community.
The event included both a silent and live auction. While he couldn't be here, he did FaceTime his daughter, and she let him see the gathering in his support. People here say they will do anything they can to help a man they love and respect. In addition to the fundraiser, a GoFundMe has been set up to help Scott and his family, all needed to pay for the care that is critical to his recovery.
My family is very grateful for all of this, and this event has changed our lives. It's been very unexpected, and no one can prepare for something like this to happen, but our community has just been incredible with supporting us.
Art Edwards, KGW News.
When we come back, if you're dreaming of a trip to the coast, we look at some of the back road sights and experiences near Astoria. But first, here's another gorgeous look outside as the rain clears over southeast Portland. It's time for another edition of Grant's Getaways. This week, Grant McComey takes us to the site of the country's oldest town west of the Rockies.
Astoria, Oregon is the oldest town site west of the Rockies, and where you'll find remarkable adventures. Exploring the Astoria Column, or the Liberty Theater, or the Columbia River Maritime Museum. At Astoria Brewing, there's always something good to choose.
Go!
And high flyers get a kick from zip lines at High Life Adventures near Warrenton.
The rain!
While the black powder demonstration at Fort Clatsop always gets your attention.
It's the oldest U.S. settlement west of the Rockies. That is truly, a bragging right. And also the beauty of the Columbia River meeting up with the Pacific Ocean.
Cast off. The Columbia River's early days come alive when you join lifelong local Mark Schecker aboard his Arrow, a refurbished working boat that tours Astoria's waterfront.
It's always been that way. It's just a small town of 10,000 people, but everybody's heard of it.
Why is that important to you?
I just like history. I just like what people did and how hard they had to work and make a living back then. It was a lot more interesting time, in my opinion.
Those interesting times are easy to come by when you travel south and east of Astoria and Warrenton, skirting the Youngs River estuary on State Highway 202. Astoria's backdoor byway unwinds a slow and scenic adventure into the area's earliest days, like the short hike down a worn path to reach Youngs River Falls. Named for a British naval officer in 1792, it's a whopper that's worth a pause. So is this, the Wildlife Center of the North Coast.
How are we doing?
Just 9 miles from town.
There we go. She's been here since she was a chick, so very, very comfortable around people. 8 years old this summer.
It's a trauma ward for birds on the brink.
Yeah.
The ones that won't make it without a helping hand.
It's the only wildlife rehabilitation center on the entire Oregon coast. It is the only rehabilitation center in Oregon that can take in and care for seabirds, a resource that's unique to this area.
Special guided tours can be arranged, and an open house the first weekend in May allows you a visit. While just down the road, cruise in for some R&R of your own.
Well, most important thing is, it's the only place on 202. Welcome to Olney.
Olney, Oregon was founded in Oregon's early days by Cyrus Olney, one of the state's first Supreme Court justices. He established a town site on the Youngs River in the late 1800s. But 100 years ago, the highway was built, and the town moved closer to it, and the Olney Saloon and General Store followed.
We don't have a deep fryer. We're not fast food. We cook everything to order. We have burgers, we have wraps, we have mac and cheese, we have specials. Try to mix it up so you don't get bored.
I like that it's a really comfortable atmosphere and kid-friendly, and the food is delicious. It's a hard between the French dip and the cheeseburgers, so tonight French dip won.
It's a nice scenic drive. It's a good excuse to get off at 26 with all the hubbub, slow down a little bit, but it's definitely easier on your brain and your heart. Less stressful.
It's nice.
Highway 202 is a back road byway once traveled you'll never want to leave, and it's waiting for you anytime. In Clatsop County with photographer Jeff Kastner, Grant McComey, KGW.
Looks like a great place to visit. Well, be sure to watch our half-hour program of Grant's Getaways. The show airs Saturday and Sunday at 4 right here on KGW. That's all the time we have. Thanks for taking a little time for the good stuff. We leave you with a few more of your weekend photos. Have a good night.